Our Not So Famous project is on Jesse Washington and his lynching. Background information: teenage African American farmer in Robinson, Texas, and he was lynched on May 15th, 1916. Lucy Fryer was killed by an unknown person, and her husband George both owned a farm in Robinson. After found dead, police found Washington on his front porch with bloodstained clothes, and he said it was due to a nosebleed.
It was an ugly trial that very few blacks attended, and at one point the audience member pointed a gun at Washington. Washington was unfairly accused of raping the woman. When leaving the courthouse, he was seized by spectators of the court that wrapped a chain around his neck, and he was dragged downtown to the lynching location where there was a fire prepared next to a tree. He was then doused in oil and hung from a tree by a chain and then lowered to the ground. Uh, the crowd then cut off some of his body parts. Then they lit the fire and raised and lowered him till he was dead.
His legacy. Washington's legacy continued to show the cruelty of whites to African Americans. This was a prime example of how white people went to extreme measures to prove they were the superior race. This also showed that whites would falsely accuse African Americans to cruelly hurt or kill them. His legacy over time shows people today that history should not be repeated in most circumstances.
Our opinion on not so famous people is that they have a huge impact in the past and today's society and do not receive as much credit as they should. We believe that not so famous people have a big impact on today's society because they show us why we shouldn't repeat history because of cruel things that happen to these people.
The pictures in this video show the scene of Jesse Washington's lynchings, and that wraps up our project on Not So Famous People by Clayton Aller and Christian Lett.